Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I hope you'll stick around and follow our homeschool journey. My name's Jamie and I'm a homeschool mama of 3 boys. My boys are 8, 6, and 19 months old. I'm a former public school educator and I taught grades kindergarten, 2nd, and 3rd before I decided to stay home and teach my kiddos. In today's video, I want to share with you what I'm doing this week in homeschool. So I try to do this every week, just a little video to show you what I'm going to be teaching that week. And normally I flip my camera around and I actually show you like my planner and the stuff this way. But today I want to try just talking to you. You can leave a comment down below if you like one way better than the other. I can always go back if you guys like that way better. But I really wanted to try it this way. Plus I got a new stand and I kind of wanted to test out my new stand for my phone because I do all my videos on my phone. So I'm going to start and just show you what I've been doing with my kids. It is Tuesday and it is late Tuesday. So I've already done school for today and we've been doing school for 2 days. The book that we read today, this week in reading, so for our reading, our writing, and our grammar, the book that we have been working on is Frankenstein, and I couldn't get a copy of it at the library. They said it was like out of system, it would take weeks to get here, and I really didn't have time for that. So I went on YouTube. YouTube is amazing. And there was a Frankenstein read aloud. So we did the actual YouTube, so I can't show you the book physically, but I am going to show you and tell you what we did. So on Monday, we talked about making predictions, which we've done already this school year, and we made a prediction about what the book was going to be about. We looked at the title, Frankenstein, and we talked about what does it mean to be cranky, and then for them to give me a prediction about the book, and then to tell me what makes them cranky, so that way they have a text-to-self connection. There was some comprehension questions that look like this. And this all comes in the Rooted in Reading, which I will leave a link in the description. And it is 2nd grade, so I just adjust it for my 1st grader. And it has all these questions, so we went through these questions on Monday. Not all of them, just some of them. We also went over the vocabulary words for the week. And then each day we focus on 2 of these words. On Monday, in their notebook, so they have like these little composition. Next year I think I'm going to use the ones with the holes because their papers are like sticking out. It drives me insane, but it's the best that you can do. So yesterday we did a problem and solution. What made Frankenstein cranky? What makes Frankenstein happy? And then this was their vocabulary prompts. So the first one said, write about a chore that you despise doing, because the vocabulary word was despise. The other one says you might feel exhausted right before bed. Write or draw about your bedtime routine. So that's what they did Monday. For Monday we also talked about shades of meaning. And you can't see it, but on my board over here I have like a whiteboard, which I'm going to be doing a video on hopefully today, and then I'm just uploading it this week on my classroom tour because I've changed my classroom around. But I have a whiteboard over here and I have a poster on it right now that says shades of meaning. So they have that poster, and we talked about how you can use the word sad, but then you can use the word that says you're devastated, and what the difference in those 2 words mean. They mean the same thing, but do they mean the same thing? And talk about how you should use words for strong emotions. If you're feeling a strong emotion, you should use that word, and it would make your writing better, and it makes our reading better. When we read a book, if it said they were devastated, we can feel that a little bit deeper than if they just said, oh, they were sad. And then they did an activity where they had to find the words that were the same and color in their Frankenstein, and then they had to pick a set of words that meant close to the same and write a sentence. And then today we re-listened to Frankenstein on the computer. We redid over some of these questions that we hadn't done yet. We then talked about sequencing of events, and again I have a poster over here for sequence of events. And then they had to actually sequence their story for Frankenstein. Today we also talked about character traits, and they had to draw a picture. And they give you like directed drawing is what they call it. And they give you like a thing, step 1, step 2, step 3. So they had to draw a picture of Frankenstein, and this is one of my little boys. And then we talked about adjectives, which is a review from a few weeks ago. And we talked about character traits, which is a review from a few weeks ago. And they had to put in the words that described Frankenstein in our story, or Frankenstein. They also had to do some more prompts with vocabulary. And this week I picked the words, not this week, I'm sorry. Today I picked the word common. And they had to write, what do you have in common with your brother? And then I picked ill, and I said draw or label 4 things that make you ill. And it could be ill as in grumpy or ill as in sick. And I told them that that meant the same thing. And that's what we did today in reading and grammar and writing. Tomorrow we are going to be doing a reading passage, and all this stuff comes with it. It's a fiction one. It's called Wrong Side of the Bed. And then we are going to be making connections again. So here's my poster for tomorrow. And then we're going to be making this connection. This will be their little notebook thing that they have to fill out. And it says, draw and write about what you have in common with Frankenstein. Draw and write what you are, how you are different than Frankenstein. And then also tomorrow, we will be doing some vocabulary words. Tomorrow they're going to be doing companion. And their writing prompt is write about what makes someone a good companion. They'll also be doing devastated, and it says write about a time that you felt devastated. And that's what the little prompt looks like. For grammar tomorrow, we are actually going to be doing said is dead. And what we're going to be doing is making something that looks kind of like this, like a little tombstone. And we're going to be talking about, instead of using the word said, there are so many other words that we can use, and then they're going to make a little said booklet. A little tombstone booklet. And then tomorrow they're also I think that's all we're doing tomorrow for that. So that's Wednesday. On Thursday, for our reading, comprehension, vocabulary, grammar, writing, we are going to be reading a different passage called, we're going to be reading a book. And I always forget to print these books out because I don't do them. I was printing them, but it takes a lot of ink because she provides the books in Rooted in Reading. So what I do instead now is I actually just bring my computer over here and we scroll through and read the book together. And the book's called When I Get Mad, and it talks about what do you do when you get mad and the strategies you need to take. And it says we can discuss the different strategies to use when you get angry. And there's also, we'll make an anchor chart on my board. And an anchor chart is just a big piece of poster board, and we use Post-its to talk about it. We'll make an anchor chart that talks about strategies to use when we get angry or upset. And then they have this little thing that says my favorite way to calm down, and I'll cut this out, and they're going to write about this in their notebook. They're also going to do how to make Frankenstein smile, because in the book it talks about things that make Frankenstein happy. So they're going to fill this out with the book. And then and it gives you everything to even make the anchor chart. See, here's the pieces that I'm going to glue onto the anchor chart tomorrow. And then, sorry, it's a lot of papers. Tomorrow we also are going to do for vocabulary, what is the definition? So we've been doing those words, they're going to have the definitions, and then they have to put them in the place of the words. And we're going to be doing grammar, is going to be quotation marks. And for quotation marks, we're going to just, it has like a cute little poster. And then we have these cards, and I'm going to cut these out and put them around the room. And then they're going to just pick 5 of them, and they're going to fix it. And they like to do write the room. That's why I'm going to put them around the room. I could just cut them out and give them 5 each, but they really like walking around the room doing it. I don't know why that brings some kind of excitement to them, but it does. And we'll probably listen to Frankenstein one more time on the computer because they really like that. And then on Friday, they will do the comprehension check on the Frankenstein story. They will read Deep Breaths, and they like this because I can scan it and they'll do like a YouTube. We will do a little activity that says, this is them. They'll color themselves and they'll say what makes you cranky, and it'll be their writing for the day. They will take a vocabulary quiz. And then I have this cute little poem I'm going to read to them. Just, it says, when Frankenstein was just a kid. I'll just read that to them. And then they have a quoted, but I'm not sure I'm going to do it where they have to put the quotes on the sentence. I haven't made up my mind because it is Friday. I do like to do a little less on Friday, and it's the day before Halloween, so I kind of wanted to do something fun with them. So I do not know if we will do that quotation thing or if I'll leave it off. I really haven't made up my mind just yet. But that is all for my reading. And I showed you their little reading notebooks. For math, they're doing Zern, which is totally on the computer. For the most part, I do pull them and work with them. I like to sit with my first grader through most of his computer. And then he has an exit ticket that he has to do every day to kind of show me if he understands or not. Then my second grader, I kind of just pop in and out. He doesn't need me so much for that, and it also has that exit ticket. And then what I do is if they're struggling with it, then I pull them and give them similar questions. Coming from a education background, I kind of don't need to have like a list of things because I can just come up with these questions like that because that's what I had to do in school. If I seen a kid was struggling, I had to be able to think quick and come up with questions. My first grader right now is working on making friendly numbers. So if you're adding 9 plus 6, what you would do is you would take that 6 and turn it into a 5, and you would take that 9 and bring it over and make it 10, a friendly number, and then 10 plus 5. And everything he's working on this week is doing that. It's working on making a 9 into a 10. Next week he'll work on like making 8 and 2 into a 10. So it's really teaching them place value to an extent of making those 10s, but it's really getting him to understand how to make friendly numbers, which is going to help him with his addition. My oldest son is actually doing place value, where he has to break apart numbers and show how many hundreds, tens, and ones. He also has to like show it in like word form, in standard form, expanded form. And expanded form is where you stretch it out and you would go like 100 plus 20 plus 3 is 123. He also has questions that say stuff like, you're at 186. If we wanted to make a new 10, how many ones would you need to add? Well, he knows he has 6 ones, so he would add 7, 8, 9, 10, and he would say I need 4 more ones to make another 10 rod. That's kind of what he's doing this week in math, and he will continue to do that because he's at lesson 12, and there's 20 lessons, so he'll do that into next week. That is all that. So then you go to their computer for HeadSprout, and what HeadSprout is it's a phonics curriculum. So what he's doing, my oldest, he's really more into fluency. He's past that phonics stage, so he just does his HeadSprout lesson, and then on there's also books that I have leveled for him that I can select for him. And we used this program when I was teaching, or parts of the program, so I really, really, really love it. And so he gets to pick a book, and he has to read that book to me, even though it is a digital book. I can print them out, but I was doing that, but it is taking a lot of ink to print the books out, especially as he gets older and the books get thicker. So he has to sit down and read with me. So, and I let them pick the books, and they both have to sit and read with me. Today he picked Grand Canyon, my oldest. My youngest picked something about going to the store or something like that. I go to the store, something like that. And then yesterday he picked Jack-o'-lantern, my oldest, and my youngest one picked Tad, which was about a cat. So they each have their HeadSprouts, they each read to me, and then they each have spelling. My oldest, his spelling this week is the PL sound, like in plant, and there's 3 sounds, but I know he has plant. Trying to think of the other one. It might be, I don't remember. I should, because I've been looking at his words, but I don't. All I can think of is plant and plow and plum as the PL ones, but he has 10 words and they're not all PL. And then my youngest is actually working on the A word family, short A word families, like an and at and am, and he has different words in there. And then my youngest, who's in first grade, also has a fluency that I do with him a phonics that I do with him every day. And this week we're doing the T consonant sound. So like I've read in this book this week, he had to do beginning sounds practice, and it had like a review sound and then a new sound. He had to talk about can you hear the, like, he had to color this one in. So bat says t at the end, and he had to be able to listen to it for the beginning or the end. And then we did, by the end of the week, he'll read this decodable text to me, a tap and a pat. He'll have to know and be able to decode these words. And I'll give him this word and he'll have to say it. Like I'll say, he'll have to build it with like magnets. So I'll say Sam, sound out Sam, and give me the S, the A, and the M. So he's got to be able to really break those apart. And then he has his little sight words for the week. A lot of these are reviews. The newest one is this and get. And then we'll do fluency also this week with that. So that are some of the things that he does for phonics. And then my extra subjects, I'm not even gonna like lie to you guys. I'm not gonna try to sugarcoat it because it is what it is. I'm having a hard time getting to loop every single day. I just am. I don't know why, but I feel like at 2 o'clock we're done. School is over, and if we didn't get to a loop that day, we didn't get a loop that day. And the way I look at it is if at the end of the school year we didn't finish all these loop subjects, then what I did last year was I said, okay guys, every day in the summer we're going to take 30 minutes and we're going to work through one loop subject. When we finish that curriculum, we'll move on to the next one. And we'll just continue that. And that's what we did last year for the summer, and that's what we're probably going to do this year. So I do have things planned. Are we going to get to them? Maybe, maybe not. Last week, I'll look and tell you what we didn't get to last week. Last week, we never got to geography. We never got to history or music. We did science, Spanish, art, our library stuff that we do that's virtual, which was story time and a craft last week. And we did our backyard Einsteins, which is also a science thing that we go to. That's what we did last week. So I feel like that was pretty productive. This week, so far, we have done science. And we have done, that's it, I think. I think all we've done this week is science so far. So what we're doing in science right now, and I'll show you what we're going to continue to do. I'm reading to them some in this Shine a Light Human Body. We will be using this book if there's anything to do with joints on this book. I know we've been reading in this book. We were reading about the bones. So what we'll be doing is we'll be reading in this and we'll finish our chapter about joints. And then I actually have this cool activity and I found it inside the teacher manual. So I guess I didn't like come up with it or anything. But it's you make your own joints using cardstocks and little brads. And you're gonna make in rubber bands and you make all the different joints that we have. So we're gonna do that. And we're going to finish doing the anatomy worksheet that they're on for joints, which look like this. So in geography, since we didn't finish what we're doing last week, we're still going to be doing the same thing, which was finishing up Connecticut, reading about it in the atlas. You're just reading page 12 in there, which is about Connecticut. And then I'm also going to, and we have like a little postcard that they're going to do of what they learned. I will read this page to them, and then we will actually just do this little book that I have found, and it has an example of a postcard in it, just because I don't think my boys like know postcards that well. Like we don't really get postcards anymore, so I really wanted to just kind of show them. And then from what we learned, I really just wanted to show them, and then from what we learned, they're going to create their own postcard. And I'm also going to share with them the State Capitals book because I really like this book. It's super cute. And some of these books are from Usborne, so I will leave a link down below for the ones that I actually got from Usborne. Like this one I'm about to show you is an Usborne. The human body ones I showed you were Usborne books because I am a consultant. So, and we're going to like talk about each of these places too, because they're like important things in Connecticut. The Harriet Beecher Town Center, the Mark Twain House and Museum, the Old State House, Connecticut Science Center, just little things I want to show them because I do really want to take them to the States and us travel. So in Spanish, we're still working on counting to 20. We did do the sheets last week for Spanish, so we will continue with on in the book that they have for us, and it's just continuing with counting to 20. In history, we're still on the architect and the study of the tomb because, again, I did not get to finish that from last week. The music, we're still studying Bach. This week we also have, tomorrow we have a spooky walk, which is really not spooky because it's for kids and it's in the middle of the day at like 10 o'clock. But the state park that's nearby our house is doing a spooky walk through the woods. And they have like little events set up for kids that's outside where they can go hiking. And we're going to go to the state park and do that tomorrow. And it does take me about an hour to get there and an hour to get back. So that probably means we won't get to any of the loops tomorrow. And that's what I'm saying. Things happen like that. And then Thursday we have a book club that's an hour-long book club on a book that we have been reading that is done through the library, and it's virtual. So again, that's an hour of our time. We probably won't get to many of these actual loops, and that's why I'm saying that for Friday, our goal, or for the rest of the week, our goal is to really get caught up on geography, history, Spanish, and then if we have time, science. But you see, that's 4 subjects. Don't know. We'll do the best that we can do. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment down below about if you like it better, if I like actually am showing it this way, or if you like it better showing it this way. I just want to know which way you would rather see the camera. Maybe you'd rather just me have a conversation with you, which is I feel like what I would like it to be. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to see more homeschool videos. Thank you so much.